Okay, today is June 7, 2015. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Let's take a look at the market indexes. Then we go and maybe review some of the stock that I posted earlier last week. Then we look at some of the financial and some of the stock in the momentum space. And maybe if we have time, if the video is not too long, then we could take a look at some of the cybersecurity software as well, because those seem to have a little bit of a positive action in the last week or so. So let's start off with the S&P 500. We see the S&P 500 finally, book this trend line here and coming down to try to maybe make its way down to test this 2080 level here that I have on the chart here. Because even though we had a some sort of a chop last week, a lot of volatility and big rotation, we did see the trend was essentially chopping downward, and we're basically just waiting to see would it be able to hold this trend line. And we finally saw it broke that trend line. As right now it's coming down, so we might be coming down and retest these pivot low here. And if it can't hold that pivot low, then I'm expecting it to come down and test this, March pivot low down here somewhere around the 2040 area. And if we take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial, the Dow Jones Industrial also came down. So it came down to getting close to this 17,826. So wouldn't be surprised that we see this level be violated and get down and probably test this March pivot low here, somewhere around this 17,600 area. Then we see the transportation. The transportation really kind of got clobbered during the last month or so. And although we getting a little bounce here, and probably will come up and test this what had been a support and now become a resistance. And wouldn't be surprised that it might even come back up a little bit and maybe get up to close to this 50-day moving average, and probably maybe make a turn down here. Then that might be a little bit of a pivot point there, and then start continuation of moving down, and possibly do this major move on this trading band here and take it down to somewhere around this 7,900. So basically that's what I'm kind of keeping an eye out on that. And then the NASDAQ was kind of holding up because of the semiconductor and some of the merger acquisition stuff going on. And then also, with Intel, but right now it seems to be retracting. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the NASDAQ to come down and test this trend line, possibly break it, and come down and retest this area somewhere around this 43.79 area. So you kind of keep an eye on that. Unless it bounce back and take out the previous all-time high, because anything less than that, I think the trend is still on the cautious side toward the downside. And then the other thing is also the Russell 2000. You see the Russell 2000 kind of bounce back, and a lot of people think that it might, carry this thing to a new high. And as I said on the previous video, I'm looking at this as the head and shoulder pattern that is might be forming if this thing doesn't come up and take out the new high, the previous all-time high. So anything less than that, again, we're basically looking for maybe some sort of an intermediate topping pattern being formed, because I think a lot of people is mistaken to look at this as a head and shoulder pattern, try to draw these lines here. But to me, I think it's more viable to look at it onto this big formation here, and look at this as the neckline for it to break this 1208 area. Okay, so those basically the market indexes. I think the overall tone is probably on a little bit of a pullback and be on the cautious side. Even though we get some sort of rally, I don't think we'll buy into that, because I think there's still a little bit of downside to go before we settle down, and then maybe do a little bit of a sustainable bounce. So right now, just remain on the, if in doubt, just remain on the sideline rather than making a lot of new commitment. And let's go and look at some of the stock that we talked about last week. And I think, one of them is the ETF on the SPY. So let's go and take a look at the spider here. We're talking about that 212.98 on the upside and 210.20 on the downside. And you can see on the last Friday, actually broke through that 210 and closed at 209.77. But once again, because Friday is OpEx, so there's all kind of game that's being played. So we have to keep an eye on that on the coming week to see, how much of a downside is actually going to come down to, or will it be making its way back up to the 210, above the 210, and try to, take out that 212, 213 area. But again, essentially like I was showing earlier on the S&P 500, it's still pretty much chopping on a downward trend on this little, short-term basis. But again, we're looking at this trend line, and if we kind of broken through this trend line here, and if it continue to come down, we're essentially looking at this 208 area and possibly down here at this 204. So we just have to keep an eye on that. And then looking at Schlumberger, we're basically talking about the energy, the energy, and looking at this bull flag here. So although it haven't broken out this bull flag, but it's still keeping an eye on this baseline here for the possible breakout on this baseline that actually broke based on this inverted head and shoulder. And right now it might be coming down and retest that neckline, and could see a bounce up there. So just kind of keep an eye on any potential long setup. So trade your plan. Don't just go arbitrary and chase them. And here's CLR again. Basically looking for this bounce off the trend line, and we're looking at this price channel coming up. Right, this higher low, higher high type of zigzag. So again, look for that penetration above this particular level here. And if we could get up to this level, then we might get up to this price channel here. And the next one is Transocean. Again, it's Transocean also coming down on this baseline here. So you're kind of looking for a little setup to maybe possibly bounce off this this trend line here. So kind of looking at the penetration above this 1976 to 1980 level. So essentially, you're looking for a formation of a higher low, higher high type of zigzag to give you a little bit of a turn to come up and possibly get back up to this baseline here. And again, we're talking about the possibility of a price channel as well. So essentially, you're looking at these higher high, higher low type of zigzag formation. And then the other one that we looked at last week was MasterCard. We're looking at MasterCard to try to break into the new high. You can see that it tried to do that, but it did not really close above that. And as a matter of fact, after that attempt, it actually created a little bit of an evening star type of pattern. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it come back down and test this trend line here. And if we break this trend line, then we basically won't be, looking at it for it to come up to make a new high. We'll probably need to come back down and see where is the next level that it could actually hold a higher low. And if it break below this, I would say probably this particular pivot point here, somewhere around the 89.50, then we probably won't be seeing that higher low, higher high type of formation being formed. And then the other one is the junior gold miner, GDXJ. We're looking for a bounce off of this trend line here, and as you can see on Friday, actually it broke down. So essentially, this is off the list right now until it kind of establishes itself. Because right now we're originally looking at this particular, higher low, right? Higher low, higher high, and try to come up to this baseline here, and then break that baseline to get up to the next pivot high somewhere around this, what is this 31 area, right? 3072. So right now you can see that it kind of made below this the previous low. So we're no longer looking at a higher low, higher high. As a matter of fact, we are basically start watching this, lower high, lower low. So we're probably looking for a little bit more of a decline on the gold miner, especially the gold miner, the junior gold miner. So we'll just kind of, put this on the back burner for now. And then CBG, which is the one of the real estate type of company, and we're basically looking for it to break into the new high as well. And you can see that it's also broke down and broke below this particular trend line here. So now we basically have to go see can it hold about this particular pivot low. And as a matter of fact, there's another support level here. If it breaks this support level, then we probably going back to the drawing board and sort of have to put that on hold because we need to see some sort of a price action that actually give us a higher low, higher high type of a turn in order to play these, bounce off the trend line. Then we look for, price action setup and trigger. Now, Goldman Sachs last week, the financial was quite strong. Remember, we talk about the catalyst for the next market moving up will most likely be the financial. I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, and you can see that the financial actually start making its move. And you see Goldman Sachs was quite strong last week, although you got this little topping candle here. We got to see how it's going to open on Monday. But you see that it broke through this flag here. It came up on a major move. Now it's forming another little flag, so it could, continue to move up and possibly hit a 214 level. But we'll keep an eye on that. If you're into Goldman Sachs, then just, trail your stop and try to lock into some of the profit. But if you're not in on Goldman Sachs, I don't think you want to go and chase it right now. So you probably have to wait for some sort of pullback. And the other one is Citicorp. You see Citicorp, we're basically looking for this breakout on this level somewhere around the 56 area. It actually broke out, and now it's kind of, broke out and came back, tested for one day, and now it's getting into this high here. Okay, so, again, just like Goldman Sachs, trail your stop and protect your profit. BFA, we're also looking at BFA, same thing, broke this baseline. Now it's coming up on this, this seems to be a price channel here, so there could be a little resistance there, maybe force it to consolidate down here. If it's set up some sort of a coil, that might be a good thing, it could set up another flag and then push it up to this 1825 area. Okay. Then Morgan Stanley, we're looking at Morgan Stanley to make a high, right? So right now it finally did that, and it was trending real nice, throughout the last couple of months, and it finally broke into the high right now. And I wouldn't be surprised that we see much higher high because it seems like there is a price channel, a long-term price channel that have the price projected up into the low 40s, so or near the mid 40s. So probably keep an eye on that. So again, all these financial had a nice run for the last week or so. So don't be surprised that it might pull back a little bit. That's why you should trail your stop. And if the market decides to head south, it could drag some of these financial down along with it. So you want to protect those profit. And here's JP Morgan. Again, JP Morgan broken into a high. You see also you got a little bit of a doji type of candle. So again, we need to watch what the opening price is going to be and how it's going to behave on Monday, because whenever you see a candle like this, you got to be aware the possibility of an evening star type of a pattern that might be forming and kind of initiate some sort of a pullback, or and it could in an extreme case it could initiate a reversal in trend. So let's see what else we got. Okay, let's go and take a look at some of the momentum stock in that space. The very first one is Apple, and we're talking about Apple holding this 129. So, and basically doing this inside coil on this candle here, this 133, and somewhere in that 129 area. And you can see on Friday, it actually broke below that. So I wouldn't be surprised that it might work itself back down to the range here. Again, next week, Apple is having this development conference, and usually those whenever Apple have any kind of corporate event, the volatility will increase, and a lot of time is Apple have a tendency of buy the rumor, sell the news. So when they do make any kind of announcement, you probably see the stock price probably react onto the downside. So you got to be aware of that. And I wouldn't be surprised we'll see Apple come down and test these level here that I have square, boxed out here, kind of in this area between the, the 124, 121 area. Okay, because this is the little bit of a range here. You can see that Apple is establishing some sort of range between 133 and 121.50. Okay, and also you can see if it would come down here, it's getting close to that confluence to this trend line here. The other one is BABA. BABA was, got a lot of positive price action since the last earning report, and it came up, tried to fill the gap, but it did not complete the gap fill, and it pulled back. So right now it seems to be consolidating down here at this 91.85 area, and I wouldn't be surprised for it to make another move and take out the, the high over here at this 94.95 area and complete the gap fill. And so probably look for some sort of a continuation move, because after this little pullback and a continuation, won't be surprised to see it pop up again and try to take out the gap here, completely fill the gap before it, rotate back down or something. But wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more upside on BABA. So kind of keep an eye on that on Alibaba here. And then taking a look at the Netflix. We talk about Netflix on this flag here. It made a move and come up to this close to this 80% major move area, somewhere around this 632, 631 area. And now it's also consolidating down here with another flag. So you might want to take a look at the possibility of another flag that could take it up to somewhere around 675. Okay. So that would be probably the next upside level between 661, which I have 618 over here, and that's 78.6. So it'd be 660 to 675, probably the next target level for Netflix if we break out this flag here, because it seems to be consolidating nicely here. It didn't, it didn't break down and come down to fill this little gap here. This is the gap with the news about Netflix is trying to get into the China market, right? And that's where we got that big pop on the open. Then looking at Google, Google seems to be trapping in this range here, and it's kind of in the no man's land right now. So I would just kind of keep an eye on it. There's a lot more better setup to trade and try to trade Google here, because it could go either way. It could come back down to the lower range, somewhere around this 529, 530 area, or it could continue to move up to this upper range, to this, what's that, 583, 584, somewhere around there. Okay. Then we'll look at Amazon. Amazon is kind of setting up a little wedge, okay, and might keep an eye on that. It could break either way. You could also look at it like here on this, a ascending triangle here. So the key thing is watch it break above that 440. If it could break above the 440, then it might come up and retest the high somewhere around that 460, 450 area. But if break below that, this pivot here, then we could see it come down to that 409 and possibly fill this gap here. So just kind of keep an eye on Amazon if you are planning to trade this. So you probably want to take a look at this pivot point here and the pivot point down here. Okay. So essentially this little wedge, see which direction they're going to break on this wedge. And then I think there's a couple requests from one of the followers. One is Ford Motor Company, and this thing seems to be on a little bit of a slide here. So, it's just basically kind of breaking down a little bit. And I think I'd be a little bit cautious here, because it broke down last week, and maybe come down here and try to find some support down here at this area. So, and then the other one is Chesapeake. Again, it's with the energy stock. We're basically looking for a little bounce, but right now it seems to be holding at this support here. Just kind of see, can it consolidate down here and set up some sort of a pattern or some sort of setup to maybe play it back up to this upper range here, somewhere around the 1680 area. Okay, if it break below, then we probably will see a little bit lower low. Not sure how low it's going to go, because it's pretty much down at this pivot here. And so it's just a matter of it's going to be consolidating here for a while, or it's going to get a little bounce and try to work itself back up to the to that baseline there. Okay. So, and let's see, we go and take a look at the couple of the cybersecurity. Let me take this down here. Okay, I think I kind of messed up the chart here. Let me redo this, load this thing back. Okay, and a couple of cybersecurity stock. I mentioned Lock, right? Lock Life, stock, and we're looking at this this break. Right? One time we're looking at this break because of the support of this trend line here, and it got a nice move on Friday. So don't chase it if you're not in it. Wait for the pullback. Like, the ideal thing would be maybe a couple inside bar here. Maybe quoting in and set it up. Then we look for these nice little flag and then play the flag. Okay. So just if you're in it, tighten up your stop and scale some out if that's your trading plan to protect some profit. The other one is FireEye. Right, that's also been moving, and again, it's kind of on this wedge here. We're looking at this, support of the trend line, bouncing off these trend line here, and here's a little wedge of a breakout. So if you didn't get in here, and if you didn't get in here, you could have gotten in here. Okay, so right now, don't chase because it's running. Same thing with Palo Alto network. Seems to be coming up on this price channel here. Might encounter some resistance. So wait for some sort of a pullback. Or if they're going to break, there is a little bit of a flag here that's appeared to be forming. Okay, so you just have to be careful on this thing because it's kind of elevated on a higher level, and also you got this potential resistance from the price channel. So it's kind of a tough spot to try to set up a trade. But again, if you really want to, maybe some parameter break out here, stop under there, beneath that area. Okay. So those are the stock for this week, and also a look at the market. So good luck to you all next week.